Hi guys, my name is Deb Marnie and I'm from Aussie Maille, and this is our ChainMaillers tutorial channel. Hey guys, a big hi, hello, welcome. How are you today? It's really great to see you. Thanks for popping in and spending some time with me. So today I've got a weave tutorial for you. This one is a bit of a mouthful. We can do this. This one is called Vipera Berus Half Persian 3-in-1 weave. Okay, all right, it's not as tricky as it sounds, I promise. All right, let's jump straight into it. Okay guys, so I've got some sample pieces of the Vipera Berus Half Persian 3-in-1 weave. I'll be running through these with you, but coming up here on the side will also be the rings that I used for this weave. You'll also find that information down in the description section underneath this video. You will also find there links for more information, the name of the creator of the weave, links to our website, all the good stuff will be down there in the description. But to run through these quickly with you now. This version over here, the bright aluminium rings, the large rings, they are 14 gauge AWG 1.6mm diameter wire with a ring ID of 9mm, and the anodized rings running down the center, those ones are 16 gauge AWG 1.2mm diameter wire with a ring ID of 7/32 of an inch or 5.56mm. The next size is the silver rings. They are 16 gauge AWG 1.2mm diameter wire, a ring ID of 6.75mm, and the coloured anodized rings are 18 gauge AWG 1mm diameter wire, a ring ID of 5/32 of an inch or 3.97mm. And then finally, the small version is 18 gauge AWG 5.5mm ID rings for the bright aluminium, and the anodized rings are 20 gauge AWG 0.8mm diameter wire, a ring ID of 1/8 of an inch or 3.18mm. Okay, so our starting piece or our centerpiece of this weave is half Persian 3-in-1. So we're going to go ahead and construct that first. So that is the rings here in bright aluminium in the silver. So to do that, you want to pre-close some of your larger rings up. So I'm working in the 14 gauge 9mm rings here. So go ahead and close a handful of those up. And once you've done that, come back here and I will show you how to create the half Persian 3-in-1 weave. Okay, so half Persian 3-in-1 isn't a particularly tricky weave. The most difficult part is holding the first set of rings in place while you stabilize the weave. And to do that, I'm just going to take up 3 of my pre-closed rings and I'm going to stack them up behind each other from going from left to right. Okay, so you can see that my rings are all stacked up behind each other, and I'm going to feed a twist tie through all those rings and just loosely twist it so that it helps hold those 3 rings in place. Okay, so there's my first starting rings all stacked up. Okay, so you've got your 3 starting rings in place, taking up an opened ring. My mantra for working half Persian 3-in-1 is down through 2, up through 1. And what that looks like here with our starting piece is we're going to come down through 2. So we're going to come down through 1 and 2 rings. So that means coming through that eye there where those 2 rings overlap, turning my ring and going up through 1. So I'm just going up through the first ring here, okay? And I'm going to lock that in place. So my work currently looks like this. So here's the ring that we just placed sitting here and our 3 starting rings. Next, taking up another opened ring. This time, my first down through 1 is going to be one of my pre-closed rings. I'm going to pop that on there, so that's down through 1, down through 2. So I just pick up my last ring there and then up through one. So I just come up through the second ring in my starting piece there, so the previous ring. While I'm doing that, I'm sitting on top of the ring that I had just placed previously. So to show you that again, that's down through one, down through two, up through one. So through the front of my second ring, and I close that. And then I've got this ring hanging off here. This was our pre-closed ring. That sits at the back there of our starting chain, and that becomes our next ring that we work into. So again, taking up an open ring, popping on a pre-closed ring. So that's down through one, down through two. So that's the loose ring, turning our work and going up through one. Okay, so we're on top of the ring that we placed previously, and we're going to close that up. And your work should look like this, with our open rings stacking up behind each other and our pre-closed rings stacking up behind the previous ones. Once again, taking up an open ring, feeding on one of our pre-closed rings, so that's down through one, down through two, up through one. Close our ring. Now our work is quite loose at this stage. This isn't necessarily a size I would recommend for Half Persian 3-in-1 if you were doing that as a standalone weave, but because we're going to be weaving other rings into it, that looseness is fine. It does make the work look a little messy, but that's okay, it will sort itself out. So again, taking up an open ring, feeding one of my pre-closed rings onto it, that's down through one, down through two, up through one. Okay, let's do one more. An open ring, pop my pre-closed ring, make sure that my new ring is sitting in position there. Down through one, down through two, up through one. And you just keep doing that till you reach the length that you desire. Once you're at the length that you need, you can just finish it off by taking up another open ring. This time we're not going to pop a pre-closed ring on it. We're just going to go down through the last loose ring in our weave, up through the previous ring, and we're going to close. And that'll just finish the end off for you. But don't do that until you're 100% sure that you've reached the length that you require. All right, guys, so you go ahead and finish off your weave and your center weave, and meet me back here and I will show you the next step. Okay, guys, so I've got my starting piece of the Half Persian 3-in-1 weave. I've put another little twist tie on the end here, as you can see. It just helps hold this last ring in place. Okay, so what we want to do now is we want to return back to the beginning of our weave, and we're going to start placing our smaller center ring. So to do that, we're looking for this ring here and this ring here. So these rings that sort of form this edge. So Half Persian 3-in-1 has two views. It has this side with more of the ridge on it, and it has this side that has more of a concave look, more of a dip in it. So we're going to be working on the ridge side, and we're going to be running our rings down here. So our first ring goes around this ring here in the center, and this one here directly underneath it. Okay, so to show you what that looks like, taking up one of our small open rings, just going to go around those first 2 rings in the center and close it up. Okay, and we want to do that all the way down our piece. So we go down to our second ring and we go down to our new ring directly underneath it, and we place our new small ring around those 2. And we just keep doing that all the way down our work, going around our previous large ring and a new large ring. So you guys go ahead and do that now. Pop me on pause and finish off adding your small rings. And when you're ready, come back and I will show you how we are going to do the next step in the weave. Okay, so our work currently looks like this with all our small rings placed down. Now our next small rings are going to be picking up 4 rings in total. So we're going to be going to here to this second ring here in our weave, our second small ring. We're going to be picking up this ring. We're going to be picking up this large ring here directly underneath it. We're going to swing our working ring around. We're going to pick up this large ring previous and our first small ring here. So these 4 rings here are the ones that we're going to be picking up. So let's show you how we do that. So we come down through our small ring and our large ring, turn our working ring around, come up through the previous large ring, up through the previous small ring, and we close that up. And your work should look something like this. So you can see our new ring has gone through 4 rings in total, 2 small and 2 large. And we just repeat those steps all the way down our work. So we go down to our next small ring in the weave, so our next loose one, and we're going to pick up that small ring. We're going to pick up the large ring that lies directly underneath it. We're going to come around and pick up the previously used large ring and our previous small ring and close it up. Okay, so going down to our next small ring in our weave, we're going to pick up that ring, the large ring underneath it, coming up, picking up our previously caught large ring and our previous small ring. Close it up. And we just continue to do that, guys, until you've reached the end of your piece. Okay, and that's it, guys. That is how you weave Vipera Berus Half Persian 3-in-1 weave. Alright guys, well that's it. That is the video tutorial for today. I hope you enjoyed it and you found it useful. If you did find it useful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up here on YouTube. Share the video if you like. Any comments or questions, drop them down below and I will do my best to get back to you as soon as I can. If you're not a subscriber, it would be awesome if you could. If you are, thank you so very much. I really do appreciate you. Last but not least, guys, don't forget to give the shop link up here in the corner a little bit of love and affection. That's where we sell the bits and bobs and you know what's. You're going to need to whip up this weave and many of the others that we teach. All right, guys, thanks once again for popping in and seeing me. It is fabulous to spend some time with you. I hope you keep safe, you keep well, and we will catch up with each other sometime again in the very near future. All right, guys, bye. Mwah.